Hi, this is Renee Michelle, and this is my channel, Chronicles of Hoodoo. This is Spiritual Awareness, I believe, number 24, and it's the fuel, right? And the fuel is about what fuels you to be abusive, yeah? What starts the flame, yeah? What keeps it going, yeah? We all know that we come from abusive homes, and if we don't come from abusive homes, we got into an abusive relationship that changed our attitudes and behaviors. But once you leave the home with no self-esteem and self-worth, or low self-esteem and self-worth, and you go out into the world and you become abused by someone, the only way to substantially fulfill that void or that pain is by abusing someone else. So the fuel to abuse, right? And the fuel to be abusive, oftentimes is because the abusive person is being abused, right? So in the beginning, it's fueled by your childhood and abuse in your childhood. But after that, right, at some point, you're going to run into an abusive relationship and become abusive and be abused at the same time. Often the abused turn into the abusive, right? They turn into the abusive because the abused is abusing them, and they have to find a way to get some form of self-esteem and self-worth, so they begin abusing others, right? Or they become abusive towards their abuser. So the abuser is getting abused and being abusive at the same time, and vice versa. Okay, let's see. So the fuel. We're using all the major arcana. It's secrets, right? That's what's going on beneath the surface. The abusive lifestyle you had as a child, previous abusive relationships, there are a lot of secrets there. Primary concern and question, right? The fuel, right? Is a risk, right? It's about being the fool. I don't want to be the fool and be fucked up by people, right? So if I'm abusive to them beforehand, then they could never be abusive to me, right? But also it's because there's someone behind me abusing me that makes me want to go out and abuse others so that I can fulfill my self-esteem and self-worth in another way. It's a risk for me to stay in the relationship that I am in that is causing me to be abused, but it's also a risk for me to go out after that instead of turning my anger towards them and addressing my the abusive relationship that I'm in. I'm going out and I'm being abusive towards others. Motivating reason for seeking guidance, right? The motivating reason is confusion, the moon card, right? So there's a lot of confusion about why I'm abusive to begin with. But if you look around at the relationships that you're in at least one or two of those, you're being abused, right? So it's like, I want to stop, say you want to stop abusing your kids. I want to stop being abusive towards my kids. But you can't stop being abusive towards your kids because there's someone in your life abusing you, and it's keeping your self-esteem and self-worth down, because every time, even when you made that choice, your self-esteem and self-worth lifted. But if you're still being abused by someone else, you're going to keep falling in the trap of abusing your kids. Present areas of concern or anxiety is the abuse itself with the devil card, right? Whether you're receiving abuse or you giving abuse, it's still the main reason for us trying to find a way to stop this cycle, to stop this process. Number 4 is what you are aware of at the present. You're aware that you're emotionally off balance, that your emotions are all over the place with the temperance card, and that there needs to be a balance of emotion in order for you to move forward. But like I said, if you continue to be abused in some way in another relationship, then it's hard for you to stop being abusive towards the people on the outside of that relationship. Best course of action or advice today, advice card, Best course of action is to move forward with strong, serious force and start eliminating the relationships in which you're being abused. Hold the abusive accountable and set yourself free. Number 6 is the best way to proceed and use advice in the present, right? This is for long-term true love and happiness in a positive relationship, right? Because when abuse is in your world, you're not in the soulmate love energy that you need to be in, right? And if you aren't, and that is your soulmate, then you're working towards harmony and peace in your love relationships. The Lover's card is not just a relationship with a soulmate energy or a twin flame energy, but it's also family, right? It's friends, it's balance in your life, right? Guidance on how to proceed in the future, right? The Judgment card, of course, right? Make an assessment of the people and the things in your world that no longer serve you. And this is a constant theme through the rest of your life, right? Making sure you're not abused so that you don't be abusive. Expecting results if guidance is followed, right? It's the Death card. It's abuse coming to an end. The Death card is something you knew was coming to an end that finally did, and it really does mean that it's over. So the Death card in this position says that this is going to come to an end if you follow this advice. All right, guys, till next time, you know I love you and peace.